East, we have mYI.Ourk as our blue Malians. Over here on the northwestern side of Golden Pit, SAS as our red Zushi Legacy player. Unlike the other two Zushi Legacy games we have casted, where they didn't go for the village, SAS does go for the village. He did gather up the 30. He only gathered 30 gold, or 30 wood from the tree, makes the village, pit mine, mill, nice little trifecta of buildings right next to one another. I do believe this is game 2 of SAS versus Orc. This should be game 2, or possibly even game 3. Let me check. Because if this is game 3, this is going to be one hell of a series to go back and watch. Okay, I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is game 3. Nice standard build coming out of our Malian player, 6 houses around the pit mine, and then just starts queuing up the rest of his villagers onto gold. All right, not onto gold, onto food. The passive gold is good enough, and you're not going to be supply blocked anytime soon because you just made 6 houses. Yeah, the houses only count for 5, but that's 30 plus your TC is 40. Over here for Zushi Legacy, for Sassafras, standard build, 3 on gold. I'm always curious what the Zushi player is going to do. Meditation Garden. Is that even a good spot for the Meditation Garden? I know this map sucks for them, don't get me wrong. And SAS cancels it. Interesting. Okay, that's better. So that's gonna be what, 96 food per minute, and a decent amount of wood too. I'm gonna be saying about 45 wood per minute right there. That's pretty solid. Mansaquaria is almost up as well. I do like that he was able to reposition this and notice that he had a better location for his meditation garden. As I was saying though, I'm always interested to see what the Zushi Legacy players are going to be doing, because there's so many different playstyles you could do with them. You could go for the fast castle with the Shaolin monks, start grabbing as many relics as you can, and also the monks beat a lot of things one-on-one. Like, they beat a lot of units one-on-one. Not only that, you also have, for instance, right here, the Jingning Tower. But this doesn't tell you anything. If you scout the Jingning, it literally doesn't tell you anything. You don't know if they're going to be using that in order to leverage a heavy feudal aggression. You don't know if they're going to be going into 2-3 TCs until you start scouting out things like this. Once you scout out the stone, once you scout out villagers off of gold and going into wood, that's the only time you're going to be able to know that. But even then, if all you do is scout, let's say 10, 12, 14 villagers on wood, and you haven't scouted out the stone, you still don't know what's going to happen. All those villagers could just drop a lot of production in your face, or even go for a mass granary transition. That's it. You don't know what's actually going to happen. That's why I'm always interested to see what the Zushi player does. Over here for our Malian, we already have stable down. Warrior, the only reason you're going to be going for that is to get the Warrior Scout upgrade, start producing your Warrior Scouts basically from your stables, start getting them 90 food, really cheap, effective. They are able to do quite a bit of harass as well. It looks like he's going to be beelining them towards the Meditation Garden to start reducing the amount of income he gets. 87 food, 87 wood, that's not bad. That's nothing to scoff at whatsoever. That's going to be able to help him get, if you wanted to, a second TC, or if you wanted to, a third TC. Sorry. We do have a 111. No, 1 stables, 2 archery ranges. This is interesting. Orc is going to be going for a pretty heavy feudal aggression off of that, and this horseman is not going to be able to win this fight. Warrior scouts do beat horsemen, especially since they are cheaper, a lot cheaper. They only cost food, and it's 90 food at that. He could even dive on this IO if he wants to. It's not within TC range. He could dive on it and try to not really pick it off, but idle it. Nice attempted wraparound right there. Is going to start attacking some of the villagers. The villagers do decide to fight back. 1 warrior scout is getting pretty damn low. 4th warrior scout comes in. Nice amount of harass coming through right here. At this rate, I would love to see professional scout come through. Like, I know I'm one of those people, but I would love to see professional scout coming through. Horsemen, archers, or excuse me, warrior scouts, archers versus horseman, spear. It looks like the warrior scout archer combo is gonna take it, mainly because the number difference. 5 warrior scouts, 2 archers against 1 no, excuse me, it was 2 horsemen and 1 spear, so of course they're gonna take the lead. Pit mine coming down right in the middle of the map as well, in golden pit. That'll be his second one. We'll see if he's gonna try to get that. Well, he should be able to get that up and running uncontested as well. Already throwing down 3 houses next to it, queued up. Decent amount of damage coming into the meditation garden. How many do we have right here? 8, so that's gonna drop it down by 80%, right? Yeah, it's 10% per unit, per enemy unit around. So now it'll be getting down to 0 wood and food per minute off of your landmark. There is a 2 random sofas out and about as well, trying to get some harass in. Is he gonna let this burn though? We need to see what SAS does. Maybe, wait, is it only 90%? I could have sworn it was. It reduced it down to 0. It's gonna start getting on fire. Oh yeah, it's slowly trickling down to 0. Okay. We do have the defensive outpost up and running now as well. Single TC, second TC actually, excuse me, on the far eastern side of the map. Meanwhile, our Malian, is he positioned? No, he hasn't postured himself or started posturing towards transition yet into his cattle ranches. Otherwise, we would have started seeing them getting thrown down. I think about right here would be the best location for it, but he is just going to be going for a heavy feudal, or he did decide to go for the heavy feudal aggression. I just figured he'd be making the cattle ranches behind this start prepping for that, because he has already transitioned into the archer sofa combo that you would want once you hit castle age. The center pit mine is almost fully wrapped with houses. This has been really good play by Orc. I am loving this, and the meditation garden is going to go down as well. What's worse than getting 0 resources per minute? Getting 0 resources per minute and losing your landmark. 2 more landmarks left until a victory. Highly doubt it's going to come to that, but if it does, that would actually be pretty amazing. I haven't seen a landmark victory in quite some time. Usually it ends before then, right? It's the whole StarCraft ordeal all over again. You don't lose the game until you lose all of your buildings, but after you lose 2 or 3 major fights in a row, you kind of know you're gonna just lose the game, so you GG out anyways. Villagers are gonna get picked off right here. 1 villager does go down. Emergency palisade gate is gonna try to come up, but those villagers will die in the process. Two villagers get picked off over the wall as well. A total of 5 villager kills for Orc. We have horsemen in the middle of the map starting to burn down a single house. This is going to be 140 gold a minute from this pit mine because it is on a big one. Oh wait, no, never mind. It's not full. It's not finished yet. So it's only going to be the 131, I think it is, or 132. No, 131. Then once he throws up the final house and or, well, actually the final house or mining camp, it'll be up to the 140 gold per minute. Are we going to be going into the Farumba garrison? I'm pretty sure it's going to be Farumba garrison at this rate, since he doesn't have... Oh, okay. He's still going to go for the Grand Fulani Corral, even though he doesn't have anything ready for it. And he's killed all these poor cows already. How many dead cows are there? 1, 2, 3. I think there's 4 dead cows right there. He doesn't even have the wood yet either in order to start the transition. So I'm not entirely sure what he's going to be doing, what Orc is going to be doing at the moment. Because in all honesty, I think I would have rather preferred he go for the Farumba garrison instead of the Grand Fulani Corral in this position where he's already been aggressive. He's gotten a few villager kills and he could potentially just end the game as well. He needs to stop killing the cows. There's just so many dead cows now. First villager kill for SAS. A few more villagers might potentially go down. Is he going to be able to secure the second one? He does. He is potentially going to lose 2 horsemen though on the back of this. One does go down. Second one is really close. It does get picked off by the town center. And now we're sitting on 54 villagers, 4 SAS, 36 military, 22 spears, 8 palace guards, 6 horsemen. As we're with Orc, he's on 39 villagers, 41 military, 19 archers, 9 sofas, 8 donzos, and 5 warrior scouts. But Orc is on castle. And this is exactly what I was saying though. Like right here, with the amount of villagers he has on gold, he has the center secured. He could have easily went into the Farumba garrison and just started cranking out units. So many units. But instead, unless he misclicked, I highly doubt he would have misclicked the Grand Fulani Corral. He has 7 villagers on wood right now. That's all he has. He's not going to be getting stables up, cattle ranches up anytime soon. This could potentially be a huge battle if he decides to commit. I don't see this going in favor of our Malian player though, with the amount of Chukunu palace guards that are in the mix right here. There are a decent amount of archers though for our Malian, but the palace guards are armored units. They are early palace guards, but they're still armored. I believe they have 2 ranged armor, so they'll still be able to soak up a decent amount of damage. There's only 3 Chukunu right here in order to deal with the Donzo. Doesn't really matter though. He is getting pushed back. Orc, that is getting pushed back all the way to his base. The amount of units here for our Chinese variant, I think, caught our Malian off guard. I don't think he was expecting so many units to be there. And now it's gonna be in favor of SAS, our Zushi legacy. He's ahead in villager count. He's ahead in military count. Our Malian still doesn't have any cattle ranches up and running. He's just throwing cattle. He's throwing the cattle straight at the Grand Fulani Corral instead of being inside of cattle ranches. He's sitting on 1,200 gold. Oh, it was such a huge mistake going for the Grand Fulani. He should have went for the Farumba garrison. He would have had such a massive military lead right now, making 5 archers simultaneously, plus already having 2 archery ranges down. I don't think he has his poison tipped arrows upgrade yet either. No, he doesn't. That needs to get upgraded now. Like, he needs to do that now. That's his best bet in order to start clearing out the armored units that SAS is making. Not only that, but it makes the stutter stepping that much more effective, being able to back off, get a volley onto the entirety of SAS's army. Not only are you getting that initial damage, but then you're getting the incremental damage every time he chases after you. Turn, shoot, stutter step, shoot, stutter step, stutter step. Just start raking up the poison damage. I don't understand why so few people actually pick it up right when you get into Castle Age. It should be one of those things you get alongside veterancy for your archers, because it's a massive damage increase. It makes these long drawn out fights even more in favor of our Malian player, especially when you have the micro that these players do in the top 200, top 50. It's insane. It's insane how much damage you could get done. The meditation garden has been fixed, completely repaired. As it gets repaired, it's gonna get burned down again. That's pretty funny. We're gonna see if SAS does rotate over here in order to deal with this. 44 military for SAS, 16 spears, 13 Chukanun, 10 palace guards, 5 horsemen, 78 villagers though. That's another huge thing that you need to take into consideration in these long drawn out games when you are playing a TC down. They're going to be able to fight a lot less cost efficiently because they have the better eco. He's sitting on 25 more villagers than, or SAS is sitting on 25 more villagers than Orc. And that's after Orc already killed 8 of SAS's villagers. 2 TC against 1. Cattle ranches are finally coming down, but there's so many villagers eating these cows. Like, this isn't good. These cows are supposed to be going to the cattle ranches. What are you doing? SAS hits castle. He did end up getting there with the Shaolin monastery. Imported armor is barely coming through for Orc. What the heck? That is insanely late. Villagers did get moved from the safe gold over to the center gold, which is something that I didn't mention earlier. Complete oversight as well on my behalf. This is something that he should have done way earlier. Like, as soon as he started getting this up, he needed to have, he should have sent the villagers over here to the gold, to the contested gold, and start mining out as much as he can while he had map control, while he was able to. Because the longer you go without using your safe gold, the better it is for you. Because in case a giant fight does break out in the center of the map, anything like that, and you lose map control, you lose the center gold, you'll at least have some in the back of your base protected in a nice viable location without being completely drained for the entirety of the game. Thankfully for the Mullions, that's not too big of an issue because they do get passive gold from the Mensa Quarry and from the pit mines themselves. But for those civilizations that don't, keep your eyes out for those types of scenarios. Are we gonna get a commitment from our Malian right here? He is gonna be pushing into the granaries. Archers for the Malian still don't have poison arrows. Is gonna get pushed back right here. There's so many spears and palace guards for our Zushi legacy player. Like I said earlier too, he has such a massive economy, and now it's showing the amount of Chukunu in the back line with crossbows are gonna be doing a ton of damage to the front line of our Malian player. Orc is gonna have to start stepping back. If he had poison tipped arrows, this would be a little bit better for him when doing this. Also, if he went for the Farimba Garrison instead of the Grand Falani Corral, because he was sitting at 12 to 1500 gold for the longest time. Nice little stutter step. Ton of Musafati warriors. I say a ton, there's about 8 right there, are gonna make their way into the fight as well. But these archers for our Malian, they need to start focus firing down some of these spears for our Zushi, or otherwise SAS is going to be able to just break through with those Chukunu as well, and that's exactly what's going to be happening right now. The front line for Orc is getting diminished significantly and quickly. All that's left are a handful of Musafati warriors, very few sofas, and now the archers for Armalian are getting jumped on as well by the palace guards, the spears, and the Chukunu are just going to start bleeding them through as well, or bleeding through as well. And now Armalian is getting pushed all the way back to his base. These pit mines are going to start becoming contested as well as the push keeps continuing. 59 military for our... Oh, a nice little... So Malian decided to just go straight into the back line. It looks like he finally was able to break the palace guards. That was quite the turn right there in that fight. It looked like our Zushi still had quite a few spears and palace guards right there, but out of nowhere they just completely got drained out. I think Orc finally hit the critical amount of sofas he needed at that very moment to just break through the front line, and now he's pushing SAS all the way back home. This is insane how the tables have turned so quickly for both players. Yet again, it is getting pushed back. Our Malians are getting pushed back again. At this point, what both players need to do is exactly what they're doing. Disengage, regroup, and try to regain whatever footing you can, put it down any defenses you can, if you could put any form of offensive keeps, forward outposts. And it's a lot easier for SAS to do so too, because he is still in Song, so he is getting the 40% cost reduction on the outposts, or on non-military buildings, which includes the outposts. So he could just start throwing down a line of outposts in front of his base just to be deterrents. And even then, they could also be damage soakers. Finally, poison tipped arrows comes through. Look at the amount of damage. Now imagine if he had this 10 minutes ago when I called it. That palace guard had more than half health. He got shot a few times and then he drops down to 55. He'd lost about 40 HP right there over 3 seconds. And that was just a small poke. Now imagine if Orc had been doing that for the last 10 minutes, 12 minutes kiting. These fights would have been so much better for him. The after effects of each fight would have been so much better for him. And we do get sofas running into the granaries, getting a good amount of kills behind this. That's a really nice run through. But it is going to get pushed back by the hand cannon slots. A nice little fight going off over here in the middle as well. The keep is almost done. There's only a single villager. Oh no, never mind. There's quite a few villagers on there. Nice, good wraparound right there. Nest of bees are out to deal with the huge amount of archers that we have going on here. They need to be microed back though. The nest of bees actually aren't firing upon them. The sofas, huge shot right there on those archers, hits a huge clump of them. Ton of damage being thrown onto those, and some more archers are getting killed by the nest of bees. These sofas need to focus fire them down. Otherwise, these archers just are going to be non-existent pretty soon. Not only that, but the keep is doing a lot of work there too. The archer count, the military count in general for our Malian right there in the front line has dropped significantly. Goes down 115 villagers for SAS, 47 military, 73 villagers for Orc, 50 military. It's getting to the point, or it's gotten to the point where no matter what, SAS is going to be able to re-up his entire army a lot faster than Orc would dream of. He has almost, what, 40, 50 villager lead? He has almost a 50 villager lead. He's going to be able to lose his army over and over and over again and still be able to remass. Especially since Orc didn't go, or didn't have his Farimba garrison the moment he aged up. It took him a solid 6 minutes after aging up to get a single stable down, or excuse me, a single cattle ranch down. Like that took way too long for him to get his eco up and running. And now his pit mines in the center of the map are going to be getting destroyed. So his passive gold is going to be getting reduced very much so, but he decides to go in for the attack right here. SAS isn't paying attention. Nice little wraparound on all those palace guards. Sofas are going to be jumping on the last remaining nest of B. And he's going to take this fight sweepingly, but he can't push up too far because of the keep and the outpost. He is going to have to back off. He does need to rebuild. He does need to get the rest of his army up and running. These trades are good for Orc. But the economy is just infinitely better for SAS. Let's take a quick look at the resources per minute. 2,700 food per minute for SAS, 1,200 wood, 1,800 gold, 700 stone. Stone doesn't really matter too much. Meanwhile, over here for Orc, he's at 1,800 food, 1,300 wood, 1,400 gold. The resources are massively in favor of our Zushi Legacy player. And now it's going to be, the passive gold is going to be getting cut in third. Imperial Age hits for SAS. He ended up going with Zushi's Library, I believe it was. It's in the back of the base. Yes, Zushi's Library. We'll see what text he goes with there. And there is another defensive keep coming up. A lot of villagers could potentially go down right here to the sofas. He is going to be able to get quite a few of them before they jump into their respective outposts and into the keep. Does save about 20 of them right there though. The keep is going to get focus fired. Still, counterattack happening over here for SAS as well. There's not a single wall up and running for our Malian players, so these horsemen were able to get into the back line instantly. The stables, the cattle ranches are getting picked off, and SAS also kills 3 of the cows in order to deny any other food per minute coming from the Grand Falani Corral. A ton of villagers did die. 25 villagers have died total so far. These nest of bees are gonna go down. They get a decent shot off on the sofas, but that was it. The archers need to be microed back. I don't know if that was effective realistically for our Malian player. He did get about 30 workers right there, 30 villagers. Nice fight right here that he could potentially take. These sofas are all up in the mix, doing a ton of damage to those palace guards and to the crossbows as well as the Chukunu. And then Orc is winning the fight over here on the northeastern side as well with his sofas and his archers. He's winning the war on 2 fronts at the moment. But more villagers, more harass going down back at Orc's base. 11 military, 9. This has been a massive swing for our Malian player. He's inside of the granaries now, or he's inside of the farms. 2 nest of bees are out. This could be huge shots. Does devastating damage onto one group of the archers. They will go down. Nice focus fire from the archers onto the villagers though. A total of 43 villager kills for Orc, 3 for SAS. And now another huge wave of units are coming into the heart of the base of our Zushi player. Both of the nest of bees go down. That is a cannon emplacement on the outpost. There's still a ton of villagers back here. Yeah, there's still a ton of villagers. 117 that are going to be farming. 44 on the farms or on food, 31 on wood, 27 on gold. So he is doing a significant amount of eco damage, but now he's going to be in the heart of, like I said earlier, in the heart of the base. This is where the production is. Has a second cannon emplacement finished? Hand cannon and then a cannon. Reinforcement is getting placed onto the cannon emplacement outpost. The attack is going to be finished though. We do have 2 front Siege tanks. Siege tanks? What the hell? This ain't StarCraft. 2 siege tanks positioned. Yes. Look at it. We're gonna get siege tanks on the high ground right here. All right, guys. They have what, 13 range? 13 range, I'm pretty sure. I think they'll be able to hit this. If trebuchets could hit it, then siege tanks could definitely hit it. Plus they have splash damage. Woo. Yes. But no, we have 2 siege workshops right here in front of the base. Instead, we're going to be getting a Mangonel and a couple trebuchets. Meditation Garden still doing its meditating. 261 wood per minute. 288 food per minute. So anyways, balance changes, right guys? Balance changes. What the hell? That is insanely good. And that's not even the best positioning that SAS could have gotten either. Sacred Victory coming through for SAS. Gonna get neutralized on the eastern side. No neutralization on the western side. Nice siege tank damage coming through from these wooden siege tanks. Wooden siege tanks on the high ground. Very good. And it misses. One trebuchet missed its hit, even though it has vision of it. Gotta love it. At this rate, you might as well just let that burn down. There it goes. And now you focus on the rest. SAS sitting on 127 villagers, 58 military, 18 horsemen, 18 Chukanu, 10 palace guards, 9 crossbows in queue, 8 spears, 3 nest of bees, 2 springolds, 2 Shaolin monks, but those guys are over here on the western side of the map, as well as a single grenadier and a single lancer. For our Malian, 35 archers, 27 Musafati warriors, 27 sofas, 4 siege tanks, 2 donzos, and a catapult. Catapult got sniped. Rest in peace, catapult. They are going to be moving forward. These nest of bees could actually destroy these very quickly. Let's see. Oh no, he nest of beed the wrong one. But now it does force our Malian player to go in. Lancers are going to be charging in, do a decent amount of damage to the front line. Wait, are those fire lancers or horsemen? Those are elite horsemen. Never mind. I thought they were fire lancers. Completely blind sometimes. Does get a full wraparound on the entirety of the Zushi Legacy army with those sofas and with the Musafati warriors. Meanwhile, the archers for our Malian are just going to be free firing. There's still a single... There was a single nest of bees still firing upon the archers, though. It did decent amount of damage, and now the horsemen are going to be able to wrap around the archers, but they're just staying put. They're going to be able to clear up a few of those before going down. And now it's a full army reset for our Malian player. GG gets called. Game goes to SAS. That was a hell of a back and forth there. What was there? Eco damage going on in the back that we didn't notice? That was only a 34-minute game?